Julian Love here. How you doing, Julian?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
What'd you make of the practice, the joint practice?
That was great. I mean, a lot of ups, some downs. Doing this against a team who was in the playoffs last year is fun. Like, it kind of shows where you stack up this time in the year, and we expect to be in that spot that they were last year, and just being a competitive team that can make some runs late in the year. So it was great. It was great for us.
It seems like to me it's better than a preseason game because you can, like, a game kind of goes its own direction, right? And you can actually plan and work on things. Yeah. Did you notice that difference?
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, we were able to go through team run, team pass, one-on-ones, 2-minute situation, the move the ball situation. Like, you could work all those things against another team that's you're playing instinctually, you're playing your rules, and you're not as much like focused on kind of when we play against ourselves. Like, you just know your guys, kind of know how they're gonna do the things, and so it lets you play free, and you just got to play by your rules when you go against another team.
So a little bit of a scuffle going on out there, but as you said, that's nothing new, right?
Yeah, joint practices, that's the cost of doing business. You're gonna get 90% great work, good looks against another team. That 10% there's gonna be fights. There's too much testosterone in the NFL locker room for there not to be fights. Too much pride and ego on the line, and so I've had a bunch of joint practices in my career. Every one there's been a fight in. Yeah.
Well, how does Mike McDonald handle that? Because I would think you want to have some fire in your gut, right? Yeah. But you also got to get things done. Is he unique in handling that?
I don't know. It's tough when you have 300-pound grown men seeing red pretty much in those fights, and you know how it was. You can't talk to guys when they get to that point, and so it's tough to kind of handle it and keep it in control. The staff, all the strength staff, everybody on the sidelines did a good job of kind of keeping guys contained when things got a little out of hand. But it's just one of those things. You just let guys cool off, time, maybe move on to the next period, and just let it roll.
Yeah, I like the way you put that. You see red, because no normal sane person would punch someone in the helmet, right? And so a lot of times people say, "Oh, that's ridiculous," but I mean, come on. I mean, you have to have that kind of fire in your belly.
Yeah, especially we're an NFL team. Everyone on our team has some sort of fire and edge and chip on their shoulder that got them to this point. Right. And so you're just gonna get to that point where you can't let another man try you. And so, that's all that is.
Yeah. Hey, what would you say? Somebody asked me this last year, and I couldn't really get my hands around it, but what's different about this defense from other defenses that you've run before? What are the things that stand out that in Mike McDonald's defense?
I think just kind of the amount of being cohesive, we have. Our D-line, feeds off the linebackers and feeds off the secondary. I feel like it's just very together. I've been on some teams where it's like, the D-line felt like their own entity on the defense. The secondary felt like we were our own thing. And so we all kind of work and operate as one. And so when things aren't the standard, we started a little slow today, but it's a call to action across all levels of all right, let's go. We have a standard. And so that's pretty unique, and it's pretty fun just to have a team that is close.
So I'm going to go back to the fighting thing again to give you some advice. There was a linebacker named Marcus Cotton, and we did a whole meeting on this, watching this film over and over. He grabbed the face mask, pulled it forward, and then hit with an uppercut to the chin, and it just dropped him. Exactly. So don't fight, Julian, but if you do, that's what you want to do.
I am 5'11", 195 pounds. If I see the lineman fighting, I know not to go near there. Yeah. I could sneak one of the receivers or somebody over here, but when those big piles and the big guys are involved, I got to stay on the outskirts and just keep my head on a swivel.
I think I know the answer to this, but who's the craziest? Well, actually, there might be a couple. Who's the craziest guy on this defense?
Ooh, that's great. There's definitely a couple.
I'm thinking D-Law and definitely Spoon.
Spoon probably has a good level of crazy to him.
Good luck.
Jaron Reed has a good level of crazy to him. It's all in control. I would say the craziest one is a rookie, young Ivy, out of Ole Miss. 51. He's a young crash out, so look out for him. I would say he has that fire burning, and so I would say he's the most right now.
Hey, what clicked? Because I was just going through the numbers and looking at the last 8 games of last year, and you guys were number 1 and 2 in points and yards, and you guys started off really good, but then there was kind of a little bit of a lull in the middle of the season. But what kind of clicked? What did you notice about your defense in the second half?
I think, one, it was a call to action, like, all right, we're too talented to be as mediocre as we were early in the year, we felt. And so it was just like, all right, let's challenge every single day in practice. Like, I don't want a scout player to catch a ball on us. I don't want a scout running back to run through our defense. Like, it was kind of just like a little thing like that to be like, all right, if we're going to do it on Sundays, we got to do it throughout the week. And so it, like, was just a total shift on how we, like, prepared, as much as that's, like, coach speak. But it kind of created a competitive chip on your shoulder to, like, you knew the standard wasn't letting somebody catch the ball. And so if you feel like that on a Wednesday, Thursday, then you sure as, feel it on a Sunday.
Yeah. Hey, as far as what you look at on the offense and what they're trying to get done right now, obviously run game, they got a fullback in there, which I think maybe less than half the league has fullbacks. But what have you noticed on the other side of the ball practicing against this offense?
They're doing such a good job. I mean, like, I heard from some of the defenders out here at joint practice that some of those runs were hitting, and they, like, have their eyes kind of wide open, like, oh man, like, your guys' run game is pretty good. And it is a full focus, obviously, from last year to this year. A new staff, the coaches, the O-line coach is a great coach, the running back coaches are very, good coaches, and Kubiak he has them dialed in, and so everyone's bought in. The receivers are blocking their butts off, and then of course we have two really good running backs. So we got to maximize that. I think it was, like I said, a call to action last year during the season on defense for us. It was a call to action all offseason. Like, we're too talented to be, not be able to run the ball. Yeah. That's a mindset thing, and so I think it's all of that.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a 3rd and 1 and a 4th and 1 we didn't pick up last year that I feel like we would pick up this year. Yeah. And then the other thing is just the complementary football. That's something that Mike says a lot. Mm-hmm. I don't know if everybody, like, fully understands what that means, but to me it's like, for you guys, you got to keep the opponent in range. Like, if you're down 21-zip, they got to start throwing the ball, and it's going to dictate what the offense does, right?
Yeah. And there's a lot of, like, not complementary football last year in some of those games that we were losing. Yeah. It's basically, it means, offense do their job, maintain time of possession, to keep the defense off the field. The other team can't score if the defense, our defense is on the field. Time of possession, scoring when you get in scoring positions, whether it's a field goal or touchdown, and then special teams is all part of that. Making sure our net punt is deep enough, making sure our return game, our coverage. It's basically a big picture thing of, like, analytics. Yeah. Like, offensive starting on the 15-yard line is much different than the 35-yard line in terms of score percentage, and so that all, you could take it a nerdy way. You could just take it like, everybody do your job when you're on the field, make an impact. No unit is less than on our team.
You got kind of a nerdy head coach, don't you?
Yeah. And I go there too. I go to the numbers too. Yeah. Percentages are better when you're playing complementary football.
Yeah. Last thing for me, looked like you got a pick today, right? And you let the sidelines over there hear about it.
Yeah.
I like that.
I had a few good plays. I slipped twice out there, which I'm still going. Those are the ones that stick in your head a little bit.
That's the torture of being a pro. Yeah. Like, you only remember the bad plays. You had a bunch of good plays.
Yeah, I mean, this defense puts me in a position that I got to step up. And so if I'm on my stuff, I think we could be really good. And that's kind of the mental edge I try to have is, Mike thankfully puts me in a position where I can do a lot. So I can make plays or I can give up plays. And so I take that challenge. And so, had some good ones out there.
Julian, really appreciate the time. Thanks, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.